Hello viewers, I'm Joseph Julius and actually I'll be taking you through introduction to taxation. So please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and we'll see you there. Taxation is and public finance is that department of economic theory in which we deal with the public expenditure and revenue. The importance of public finance has increased in recent years. These days, the government is considered responsible to stabilize the economic situations of the country. Similarly, the government plays an important role in the economic development process. Various measures are taken by the government to increase the rate of economic growth. At present, the government performs the following functions. From our side there, the first one is protective function. The protective function. The government is responsible to maintain peace, security in the country and to defend the country against external aggression. For this purpose, the government maintains police and armed forces. 2. The administrative functions. The government is responsible for the administration of the country. Various administrative departments are established by the government for this purpose. Moving on to the third function, that is social functions. The government tend to provide social services like education, health, housing, etc. These services are vital for welfare of the society. I'm very sure that even if you check in your country where you are at now, you will be able to see all these functions being rendered by the government in your country. The fourth function is development functions. The development of different sections of economy is not possible without the state help. The government should develop irrigation, transport and communication, industrial and agricultural system of the country for the rapid increase in the rate of economic growth. In order to perform these functions effectively and adequately, the government needs funds. The taxation actually is an important source of government income. The income of the government from taxes and other sources is known as public revenue. We may distinguish between public receipts and public revenue. So income received by the government from all sources is known as public receipts. It also includes the receipt from the sale of public assets. We are talking about even the public borrowing. So public revenue means the income of the government from taxes, prices, special assessments, and even state enterprises. Public revenue. Public revenue. Public revenue, as you can see from our slides, means those amounts which are received by the government from different sources. So in other words, income of the government is known as public revenue. Then we'll now tend to check on some of the sources of public revenue to the government, and they are as follows. From the first one in our slide, we are having taxes. Remember, as a learner, tax is the most important source of public revenue. Tax may be defined as the compulsory contribution imposed on the individuals to meet the expenses which are incurred for a common cause. Taxes may be actually of different kinds. As you can see, the first one there, we are having the income. We are having the income tax. Income tax, that is just the tax which is imposed on the income of individuals. I think you know that is also referred to as the it is always cut from your salaries. Then we have corporate tax, That is the tax imposed on profits of limited companies. For example, an example of Safaricom, they do tend to issue reports based on such kind of taxes to the government. Then we are also having sale tax. This is the tax imposed on the sale of commodities. Then excise tax, that is just as simple as the tax imposed on the production of commodities, especially that is on the manufacturing industries. Then we are having custom duty, which is imposed on the imports or export of commodities. Remember, this one is especially applied where the country actually want to protect some of the local industries. Then the second source of revenue, the government here, is the fees. Remember, fee is just that amount which is received by the government against any direct services rendered by the government. A good example of this is the road license fees and the import license fees. Next, we are having prices. Prices are those amounts which are received by the government for commercial services. For example, the railway fares, talk of postage and telephone charges, etc. We have special assessment, that those are just amounts which are charged for specific purposes. If you check on that, the example is maybe if the government charges a specific amount from the residents of a particular area for the establishment of a secondary school in that area, then it will be a special assessment. Fines, if the individuals do not obey the laws of the country, then fines are imposed on such individuals. These fines are also the income of the government. Then we are talking about state property. State property, like for example, we talk about forest, mines, and national parks are considered as the government's property. So income from such departments is also one of the sources of public finance. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and we'll see you there. Purposes of taxation, and we are talking about why government levy taxes. The first objective, the purpose of taxes, is raising of revenue. That is, the main purpose of imposing taxes is to raise income or revenue. The government needs money to maintain the peace and security in the country, to increase social welfare, to complete the developmental projects like roads, dams, power stations, etc. So taxes are considered as major source of public revenue. 2 is economic stability. That is, taxes are also imposed to maintain economic stability in the country. During inflation, the government imposed more taxes in order to discourage the unnecessary expenditure of the individuals. Similarly, during deflation, taxes are reduced in order to enable the individuals to spend more money. In this way, the increase or decrease in taxes helps to check the big fluctuations in the price, and maintain the economic stability. Fair distribution of income has another purpose of taxes. That is, just taxes are also imposed to achieve the equality in the distribution of national income. Taxes are imposed at higher rates on rich persons, and these amounts are spent to increase the welfare of the poor persons. In this way, taxes helps to achieve the fair distribution of income in the country. Remember, in this area, for you to have a good understanding of this part, we'll also have a topic on what we call principles of taxation, where we also be checking on some of the rules applying to implementation or designing of tax systems. Optimum allocation of resources. Taxes are also imposed to allocate the resources of the country for optimum use of these resources. The amounts collected by the government from taxes are spent on more productive projects. It means the resources are allocated to achieve the maximum possible output in the given circumstances. Moving on, are we together? Try to actually grab some good contents, because these are actual concepts that are easily or can be easily be applied in our economies to bring some of the great changes and developments. Protection policy, that is, taxes are also imposed to implement the protection policy of the country. In order to give the protection to those commodities which are produced in the country, the government imposes heavy taxes on the import of such commodities from other countries. So, in view of these taxes, remember, the individuals are induced to buy local products. Then we are talking about social welfare. That's where the government now imposes taxes on the production of those commodities which are harmful for human health. A good example is excise duty on wines, opium, cigarettes, and the like. Then we are talking about higher employment levels. The government also imposed taxes in order to complete some public works or programs. The government employs individuals to complete such programs. It means the government can solve the problem of unemployment to a great extent by starting new projects. This way, taxes help to create more employment opportunities. Thank you for watching. Remember, in our next lesson, we'll be able to cover some of the principles of taxation, or what we call canons of taxation. Keep in touch, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll meet you there.